Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you again for clicking on yet another video. Thank you so much for the love on my Criterion Haul video. That has gotten like way more views than I expected for my channel at least. So thank you guys so much for doing that. That was really cool. And welcome to my new subscribers that I got from that. I know a few people commented and said that they subscribed from that video, so thank you so much. As you can tell by the title of this video, I wanted to talk about my 5 favorite movies that I watched in May of 2024. Most of these are movies that I watched at home, actually. I think only one of these I saw in theater. So a great month of watching movies at home. You know, I always post like what movies that I find at thrift stores or what movies I'm buying, and rarely do I wouldn't say rarely, but I will say that I don't watch them as often as I should. Like, I buy all these movies and I'm like, I'll get to it, and then it just like piles up and up and up and up. So I was able to check some off of my watch list, and I'm gonna do my top 5. If you guys see me looking down, it's because I am actually reading off of notes, because as much as I'd like to think that I would just be able to go boom, boom, boom with all the information I need, I actually can't. Starting off at number 5 is Firebrand, which, as I'm looking at this list, there is another one that I did get to see in theaters, and I can't believe that I forgot that I saw it in theaters. Actually, I have a really cool story to go with it. Number 5 is Firebrand, and I looked up how to say the director's name, so I still might butcher it. And, you know, I tried. I wrote it down, even like how it's like written. Like the pronunciation wise, is Karim Ainous. He's a Brazilian director, and Firebrand is about Henry VIII and his last wife, Catherine Parr. I believe it is actually based on a book. I didn't read the book before seeing it. I was just obsessed with Henry VIII, and I still am. I think every woman or femme person probably has this obsession, at least like most femme people that I talk to. I'm not subscribed. I'm on the Tudor subreddit, so I've been seeing people talk about this movie quite a bit. Some of the strengths right off the bat, the costuming was beautiful. The cinematography was really great in some moments. In some moments it was kind of a little bit lacking, but I think overall the cinematography by Helene Louvart, I think is how you pronounce it, was beautiful. It really set the atmosphere. It was dark, it was grimy, and even in some moments it was kind of idyllic when it showed like the outside of the more technical aspects of the movie. I think the performances by Alicia Vikander and Jude Law were both stunning. Jude Law did a really good job of showing you how gross Henry VIII is, and especially towards the end of his life, where he was dealing with some more health problems, kind of going a little bit crazy. I'm like cringing thinking about it, but there were moments where they showed the injuries on his legs. I believe he had gout, or maybe like a staph infection in his legs. Then they showed it, and they showed them like working on it, and it was absolutely horrendous. Like, sometimes I just look at like the makeup they can do, like the special effects makeup they can do with like wounds, and I'm like, how could you work on that? Because that is disgusting. But very impressive. Outside of the performances and the more technical aspects of the movie, I give it a 3.5 out of 5, because I do feel like it has a 2-hour runtime, and you feel like every minute of the movie, basically. Especially in the middle where the conflict kind of happens, and that's not where the movie should, I feel like, have like a slow moment. The moments that are really great are between Catherine and Henry, and the tension between them. Like I said, Jude Law does a really good job of making you feel like the terror that you would feel if you were Henry VIII's wife. Alicia Vikander does a really great job of playing a woman that is just trying to survive, and you know, I couldn't imagine like the prep that she had to do and the situations that she had to put herself in while filming to give a performance where it's like, you really feel that she went through these things. And my imaginary invisible hat off to Alicia Vikander. I think she's amazing in most things she does, but especially this, I was just blown away. Some of the dresses that she was wearing, the craftsmanship that goes into it, I feel like not enough recognition goes to costume designers, because I feel like Tudor fashion is so stunning, especially the headpieces and the veils that they were wearing over their hair. This movie does a great job of capturing Tudor aesthetic so well, and I just feel like I could talk about it for hours, so I'll just leave it at that. Number 4 is Unsane, starring Claire Foy, and it is directed, written, and I feel like the cinematography was also done by Steven Soderbergh. I'm a little wishy-washy on Steven Soderbergh, but this movie was crazy good. I wasn't expecting it to be good. I bought it on a blind buy at a resale store because it had Claire Foy on the cover. I love Claire Foy in The Crown, so this was like a no-brainer to buy. The movie is actually shot on an iPhone, which I didn't know until after I looked it up. But yeah, it's shot on an iPhone that is then upscaled with an app. I forget what the app is called, but it's upscaled into 4K. When I was watching it, I was kind of like, this doesn't look like a regular camera. The film does run 98 minutes. I give it a 4 out of 5. I think that it is one of the more unique films I've actually seen this year. The film follows a young woman who is involuntarily put into a mental health facility, which is terrifying in itself, because if you've ever talked to a health professional like a therapist or a doctor, sometimes you don't know how honest you can be because of situations like this could happen to anybody. I feel like she has to face like her past, like literally face to face with her past, and it's when you're watching the movie, you like start feeling like this could happen to me. And as the movie progresses, it's like you get even more confused along with the character. Claire Foy is such a phenomenal actress. She plays this part so well. I honestly don't know how she didn't win like every single award for this movie. I was genuinely taken like back by her performance. She plays this unstable, but also you can see that like she's trying to figure out what's happening around her. And she, you know, when you're in a mental health facility, they give you drugs, they like control everything about your life. So she's trying to balance all of this and also like battle through being face to face with her past. And I don't want to give too much away because I feel like you need to like really watch this movie blind. Like, I had no idea what this movie was about before I watched it, and that really went to like my advantage. For being shot on an iPhone, I really did love the cinematography here. There's a shot where she's laying in the bed, in her hospital bed, and there's a character like in the background, and you feel like the depth of the image, which is fairly impressive to like, especially on an iPhone. I feel like this movie, when did it come out? 2018 or maybe 16, and the iPhone didn't have cinematic mode back then, so I feel like it is so incredibly impressive that he was able to capture such great work with an iPhone. That's gotta be at least like 2 stars in itself. Number 3 is actually another movie I saw in theater last month, and I know I lied to you in the beginning. I totally forgot. May was a very crazy month, and I actually saw this movie in another state. I flew to Boston, which was a lot of fun, to see my friend Dwayne and his beautiful wife Dana get married, and I met so many great friends. If you guys follow me on Instagram and X, you'd probably have seen the pictures. But I saw this movie in the AMC Commons in downtown Boston in like the theater district, and what a cool experience. That theater was amazing. Number 3 is The Bike Riders by Jeff Nichols. It's also written by Jeff Nichols. It stars Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, Michael Shannon, and most importantly, it stars Jodie Comer, who I love Jodie Comer. She really is the star of this movie, but I wanted to put her last because she deserves her own spotlight. And with that said, her accent work in the bike riders is probably one of the best Midwestern accents I have ever heard. Austin Butler, he has won me over. I wasn't quite sure on him for a while. I liked his performance in Elvis. The Elvis movie I wasn't a huge fan of. Loved him in Dune. Loved him in this. He is a star. This movie just proves how charming Austin Butler is. Like, I'm blushing thinking about it, but my friend Kenzie, I'm pretty sure she posted this. We're mutuals on Twitter. She posted her Letterboxd review, and I'll post a screenshot of it here. It's basically a movie about how hot Austin Butler is, and it's true. Like, everybody in this movie is just like attracted to him, like in sexually or just like gravitationally attracted to him. It centers around him and his relationships with the members of the biker club, which is ran by Tom Hardy's character, and his relationship with Jodie Comer, and like how they like are just, there's so much friction. They're butting heads. There's friction, especially towards like the end of the film. It's like, should he stay with the biker club? Does he leave the biker club? There's conflict with Jodie Comer's character, Tom Hardy's character, and it all comes to like a head. He has to choose to live his life with the biker club or with his wife, Jodie Comer, because the biker club is getting increasingly more and more dangerous. Like, the younger guys are kind of coming in and pushing the older guys out. The movie really just shows the heart of like that time period in American rebellion, I feel like, in a very beautiful way. It's a biker gang. They're wearing these cool jackets. They got their slicked back hair. They're dirty. They're gross looking. And it shows them traveling across the United States. What really sticks out to me is the cinematography and the sound design. The theater speakers were like rattling, like shaking, when there were scenes of all of them on their bikes, like roaring down the highway. It shows the countryside in such a beautiful way, like farmland. And as someone that lives, like, I live in Michigan, so I really like when they show there's a scene where Austin Butler's character is just driving through the country, and it like pans out and it shows you like a farm in the background. It's just open field for like as far as you can see. I was like, wow, that looks like something I could see just like driving like on my car. But they captured it, something that seems so mundane to me, like in my real life, looked so stunningly beautiful. So the way that they capture like a small town America was, I think, perfect. I gave this movie 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like it kind of loses itself towards the end. It doesn't really know where it wants to stop. The movie could have ended at like maybe 3 spots before it actually did. That maybe would have been more beneficial to the movie, more impactful to the movie. But regardless, I feel like it's a great movie. It comes out on digital, I think, at the end of the month, which I think is too soon, but if you have a chance to go see it, I definitely recommend it. My final 2, which one is from my Criterion Haul, Bound by the Wachowskis. Something I think is really cool is they actually put Lana and Lily Wachowski at the end, which my boyfriend, because we watched it together, he told me that before it didn't say that. It had I think their dead names on it, or it just said the Wachowskis, but it actually said Lily and Lana Wachowski. This movie is as intense as I thought it was going to be from like what I was talking about in my haul. It's very hot, very sexy, very thrilling. I at times wasn't sure what was going to happen. I kept telling my boyfriend, like, more like just thinking out loud, like, oh, does this end in like a happy ending? Because I was really rooting for them. I didn't know who I was more attracted to in this movie. They're both very, they're both incredibly beautiful in different ways. Corky plays the more masculine role, and Violet is the more femme role. The movie also stars Christopher Meloni, which he's wearing Christopher Meloni with hair, which is a little bit shocking sometimes if you're not used to him having hair. The film also stars Joey Pants, which I think he was really good in this too. He's very intense, and he's a very good like face like actor. Like, there's a scene where he opens up a briefcase and it just is like on his face, and the like array of emotions he goes through. Like, he has tears coming out of his face, he's like cracking a smile, like an unsettling smile. He was really great in this. I think he probably had the best performance out of anybody, even outside of Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershon. I think he had the best performance. The one aspect that really stuck out to me was the use of color in this film. The color red sticks out so well against like the darker backgrounds. Like Violet, Jennifer Tilly's character, is always wearing like a red lipstick, like of different different depths, like more of a bright, more of a cool, more of a deep red, and it always sticks out with her outfits, usually of like a dark color like black or like a blue or a green or something. There's a shot in the movie where Joe Pantaleone's character is putting Gina Gershon into a closet, and it's like an aerial view, and you see like the t-shirts, well, not the t-shirts, like the clothes in the closet above, and it's like all gray except like every like fifth item of clothing is like a piece of red clothing. And again, I think that the use of the color red in this movie was amazing. There's a scene near the end where someone gets like shot in spoilers, I guess. Someone gets shot and they're falling, like a bunch of like white paint is on the ground, and they get shot and they fall into the paint, and they get shot like multiple times, and the paint is just like getting like just covered with red, like the blood, and it mixes so well, and it's so visually cool to watch. Cinematography by Bill Pope was like, it was great. I think that for the Wachowskis, for this to be like their first film, it's probably one of the most impressive like first films I've seen from a director. It has a lot of their staples, like the slow-mo and the action. The gunfights are so cool, so well done. I think this maybe shows their style. I feel like maybe personally, I know people are gonna freak out, but I don't really like The Matrix too much. I like their style with this kind of movie better than I like it in The Matrix, if that makes sense. Number 1. Are you guys ready? Number 1 is Days of Heaven by Terrence Malick. I watched this back to back with Bound, and what a crazy double feature. But my boyfriend bought it on Criterion, and it is one of the most beautiful visually, performance, story-wise films I think I've ever seen. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd because, I mean, my boyfriend has been hyping this up a lot, and I was kind of worried that maybe it wouldn't live up to the hype. I wasn't a really big fan of, I think it's called A Tree of Life. I wasn't too big of a fan of that movie, but this, I will watch anything Terrence Malick does, anything he has done, because Days of Heaven was stunning. I don't know if you guys do this, but I definitely do. I try to think of how they filmed something like back when they did it, because you watch this film and it feels like it could have been shot today. It's just so masterfully made. I don't really know how I can describe it. It's like I'm at a loss for words for how beautiful it is. It stars Richard Gere, who I kind of go back and forth on Richard Gere, but he's very young in this movie. He's very handsome in this movie. He does a very good job of playing a character that you're not sure if you should root for or not. And it also stars Brooke Adams, who plays his girlfriend, and Sam Shepard. He's the guy that owns this like wheat farm that they're working on. And also stars Linda Manz, which this is her first feature role, I think, her first film role. I don't really know what else to say. Like, it is another film that captures like the American spirit, I feel, in good and bad ways, and the countryside of America, the more desolate areas of America. When you're watching these people work this field for like it was back in 1910, I think is the time frame of the movie. Was it $3 a day? You sit and you watch them and it's just grueling work day and night, but they still have like a sense of community together. I feel like it's a movie that if you're a movie lover, you need to watch this movie because there's so many directors out there that I feel take inspiration from Terrence Malick, and he does such an amazing job of showing something that seems mundane, like working in a field, and makes it cinematic. Like the way that he shoots the wheat out in the field and people throwing it into a machine and tying bales of hay together. I could watch that for hours. The best performance, hands down, I feel like goes to Sam Shepard. I can't tell you how many times I just try to say that. I kept getting tongue-tied. Goes to Sam Shepard. He plays such an important role in this movie that makes you see the leads of Richard Gere and Brooke Adams. He makes it known their intentions before his character realizes the intentions, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It was a great month for movie watching for me. There were some more movies that I watched in this month. If you go to my Letterboxd, you can see what I've been watching. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out all of the links in the bio. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Vero. Follow me here if you want. Follow me on TikTok. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.